We are learning Yoma Amid Yemi Daf Nun Aleph Amid Beis. Fact the Gemara typically the Ashalayim Rachmana. So fact the Gemara wants to say typically Rabbi Lezer had a shayla, if you remember a little before, about the power of Yom Kippur. The Kehanim are B'kufya Hu de Meschapri Bey. Are they mechaper on their own? Do they have a chelik of this par, and that's how they have a kapara? Or is it only bekufya? Are they getting their kapara through that of the kangadol? So for the Gemara, typically maybe it's his. No one else has a chelik in it. So it's his. So they're getting a kapara only mikufya. The Tanya, like in the Brisa. Ashaloi. The Torah tells us that this par belongs to him. Bikar Aaron is parachatas ashaloi. V'chiber ba'adei v'ad beisai. Mishaloi hu maybe. V'loi mishal tzibur. It's got to be his own money. It's not from the tzibur. Yachaloi yavi mishal tzibur she'enat tzibur m'schabrim bay. He doesn't bring from the tzibur because they don't get a kapara with it. Aval yavi mishal achu v'kehanim. But the kehanim have to chip in. Shari achu v'kehanim m'schabrim bay because they're getting kapara. So they need to chip in. Talmud Leimer, again the Torah says, Asher Loi. The next V'hikra of Aaron as Parachatas Asher Loi, V'chiper Ba'adai Ba'ad B'esai, B'shachat as Parachatas Asher Loi. So it says Asher Loi 3 times. So the first time it's telling you, it says not Shal Tzibur. The second time it's telling you, it's not Shal Kehanim. Yachal Lo Yavi V'mhevi Kasher. I think b'diavad it would still be okay if the Kehanim chipped in. Talmud Leimer Shuv Asher Loi. Shana Kasav Lav La'akev. The Torah repeats it to be ma'akev, to tell you that it's ma'akev. If they don't have a chelik in it, then how do they get a kapara? Elishani begaza duyak arin the afke rachmana gabe achav kehanim. When it comes to the descendants of Aaron, who are getting a kapara, the Torah was mafkirit. Afkir rachmana gabe achav kehanim. The Torah was mafkir Aaron's money to his brothers, the kehanim, in order that they should get a kapara. So achanami gabe temura nami shani because of the Aaron, the afkir rachmana gabe achav kehanim. So Gemara is saying that the kehanim do have a chelik in it, and that's how they get a kapara. Now, okay. So that's the end of the sugya of Temura. Is there a Temura? Can the Kahana make a Temura or not? So it seems like they do. They have a chelik in it, and maybe they could. Okay. Zok the Heilige Mishnah. We continue the avodah of the Kohen Gadol Yom Kippur. Hamahalach behechal ad shemigil ben shtei hapareichos hamavdilas ben hakodesh hakadashim ubeinehen ama. In between the Kodesh and the Kodesh HaKadoshim in the Beis HaMikdash, this is in the Beis HaMikdash Hasheni, there was no wall, there was a curtain, a space of an amma, and then another curtain. And he would walk in between those two. Rabbi Yosi Omer, Lo Hoysa Sham Ela Pareiches Achas Bavad. He says there was only one Pareiches. Shenemar Hivdila Pareiches Lachem Ben HaKodesh Ubein HaKodesh HaKadoshim. The pasuk says that there was a Pareiches. That is referring to the Mishkan, and he's assuming that would be the same in the Beis HaMikdash. Says the Gemara, Shabri Karmel Rabbi Yosi, Rabbi Yosi has a good time to Rabbanon. The pasuk said that there is a pareiches that's being mavdil. Rabban Amri Lecho Hanimi the Mishkan. That's very good. That was in the Mishkan. Al Mikdash Sheini, given to Havoy Amatraxin. Since there was no Amatraxin, which was a wall, an amma wide that was in Bayis Rishon, and it was called the Amatraxin. Rashi says, Kach Nikras Koisel Mechitza. This is what the wall that acted as a divider that was in between the Kodesh and Kedashim and the Kodesh HaKadoshim in the Mikdash Rishon. Ava b'Mikdash Sheni shahaya gavayim. It says Mea, but it's probably just Mem. It was 40 amas high low. So Vishlei haya avya shel ama ela ama ve'in yichel lamid begova Mem alma. So to have a wall 40 amas high would not work if it was just an amma wide. They couldn't add to the width because there it says Akol b'ksav miyad Hashem Alahi skill. So it had to be an amma. I thought Rashi explained what a traxon was. Maybe he does it later. In the Dirshu, it brings down that. Oh yeah, Rashi later. He says that traxon in Greek is a lashon of panim v'chutz, inside and outside, because it acted as a divider. Others say that the word trak is a lashon of closing, and sin is a lashon of Sinai. So because the Pareiches closed off the luches that were given at Sinai, that's the Amma Traxon. Okay. Now, so the Amatraxon was in the Bayis Rishon. The Pareiches was in Bayis in the Mishkan. Of a Mikdash She'ini Kivin Lehavi Amatraxon. So they had two Pareiches. And the Mikdash Rishon, who the Havi? The Istavkul Rabban. The Rabban were Mesupik. Biktushase. Does this Amma Ikalifnim Ikalchutz? Did this Amma have a din of the inside or the outside? So they didn't know. So they made two pareches, one towards the Kodesh, one where you knew that by the pareches you were for sure in the Kodesh, one that was for sure in the Kodesh HaKadoshim, and there was an Amma in between. They were concerned if they're going to do it, they're going to put the pareches, if they just put a pareches and then you did the Hazaz or something, you may end up doing it. You may end up walking to the Kodesh HaKadoshim if they put it too far in, and if you put it too far back from the Kodesh HaKadoshim, so then you may end up putting the Keteris in the Kodesh, not the Kodesh HaKadoshim. So immediately they put up these two pareches in it with an Amma in between. Ton Rabbanan. Ben hamizbeach lemeneira hayimahalach. Now, where would the Kohen Gadol walk as he was walking to the pareches? I mean, which side did he enter on? Okay, again, the Kohen Gadol is facing west. Behind him is east. That means north is to his right and south is to his left. In front of him, there's the Mizbeach HaKateris. To the left, on the Durham side, is the Menorah, and on the Tzafin side, on his right, is the Shulchan. So he's got to walk now to the pareches, and either there was going to be an opening on the Durham side, or there's an opening on the Tzafin side, depending on what you hold. Says the Gemara. So we have a brayso. Ton Rabbanan. Ben hamizbeach lemenorah hayimahalach. He'd walk in between the mizbeach and the menorah. That's where he would walk. So he's on the Durham side of the Kodesh. Div Rabbi Yehuda's opinion. Rabbi Meir Eimer, no. Ben Shulchan leMizbeach. He would walk in between the Mizbeach being center and the Shulchan being to the Tzafin, to his right. That's how he would walk. Okay. And then we have Yesh Eimer Ben Shulchan leKoisel. Now you'd actually go all the way on the Tzafin side between the Shulchan and the wall of the Heichel. In fact, the Gemara, Man Yeshem, whose opinion is this? Amar Rav Chizda, Rabbi Yosi. This is Rabbi Yosi's opinion. The Amar Pischa b'Tzafin Kai. He held that the opening of the pareches was on the Tzafin side, so that's how he would walk. Rabbi Yehuda Amar Lacha, Rabbi Yehuda would say to you, no, Pischa b'Darm Kai. The opening was on the southern side. Reb Meir, come on, seriously, who did Reb Meir hold? Like Reb Meir, who said that he would walk between the Shulchan and the Mizbeach. So who did he go like? Ikar Reb Yehuda Sirulei. If he held like Reb Yehuda, so Neil Reb Yehuda let him go out between the Menorah and the Mizbeach. And Ikar Reb Yosi Sirulei, so Neil Reb Yosi let him walk next to the wall. He really held like Reb Yosi that the opening is on the Tzafin side. V'amlacha Shulchanes Tzafin v'dar munachan umafsakalei Shulchan. V'lemisayil lei. he says that the shulchanos were placed at least in the Bayis Rishon. There were. That's so funny. If we're talking about Bayis Rishon, so we're not talking about the Parechos. Because here we're talking here about the 10 tables that Shlomo HaMelech built. Let's see. Rashi says, "Eser shulchanos asa Shlomo." Shlomo made 10 shulchanos, and there's a machlekes if they were put between the north and south, meaning like this way in the Kodesh HaKodashim, or was it east to west? Okay, so let's take a look at this Rashi. Shulchanos Ezer Shulchanos Aser Shleima. Shneimar Chamesh Mimin Chamesh Mismal. V'taynu b'menachos Yev Shleimar Chamesh Mimin HaPesach v'Chamesh Mismal HaPesach. Shemata Emer Kein Metzinu Shulchan B'Darim. So you can't have the shulchanas in the south. V'Tera Amar v'Shulchan Titin Al Tzal Tzafon. Ella Shel Moshe be'emtza. The shulchan that Moshe Rabbeinu made was in the middle. Chamesh Miminai v'Chamesh Mismalei. 5 were to the right and 5 were to the left. Upliga b'Tanai. Ikal manda Amar b'Mizrach u'Ma'ariv Munachan v'ikal manda Amar Tzafon v'Darim Munachan. So Moshe Rabbeinu shulchan was in the middle, and he either had 5 in front of it and 5 behind it, or 5 to the side and 5 to the other side. Okay. Now, Reb Meir, Svirle Command Amr Tzafon V'Darim. They replace Tzafon to Darim. Rosh Shulchanas min Tzafon l'Darim hayu. Chamesh b'shura achas pinuya reisha shel zu l'reisha shel zu. V'ashulchan amasayim arkoi harei eser ames. V'alkarchach tzarech hayil l'smech reisha shulchan hatzafani l'koisel. Shema at Moishchay lahalon min ha'koisel nimtzad min ha'shulchan lahadremi miktsasa yeshe b'darim sheichel rachvei esrim amma. So if the shulchanos were 2 amas each, and they took up, that means they took up 10 amas of space. So the whole room was only 20 amas. So it had to go from wall till the middle. Otherwise, it would be on the darim. Okay. So if they were going from the wall to wall, there was no room for him to walk. That's what he would. That's the point. Okay. Alternatively, they could be placed Mizrach U'Ma'ariv. Umishum Shechina Lava Erech Ara Lameil Lehedya. He held that to walk directly where the opening of the Parechas was, to walk straight there, that wasn't B'Kavadik. Like you're walking straight, like you can see into the Shechina, you can see into the Kodesh HaKodashim, or you could see into the opening. That wasn't B'Kavadik to walk like that. So mainly he held you walk a little bit over, even though you're going in through that entrance. Reb Yossi Amar Lecha Chavivin Yisrael Sheitzrichen HaKasav L'Shliach. Klal Yisrael is very chashiv to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They don't even need a shliach. Everybody themselves could daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So Memela, that chavivus shows that they're allowed to have like a certain ki'ilu gaiva, and you could walk straight in, or at least their shliach could walk straight in, because they don't even need a shliach, and they appointed a shliach, so that shliach is allowed to walk in straight. All right, we'll continue.